AJ here with Bite Size Digital. Today I'm going to be talking about page builders. The four that we use most often, the similarities, the differences, pros and cons, and just a little bit about each of them. So if you don't know what a page builder is basically a plugin or theme that allows you to create more complex layouts than the just single content space of yesteryear and WordPress allowed you to do. So they allow people who don't have a lot of coding background to be able to achieve really stunning results and more complex layouts than very simple ones that used to be tied into the themes. So let's get started. First up, we have Gutenberg, and I'm starting with this one because Gutenberg is what's packaged with WordPress. Now, Gutenberg to me is not my favorite. It has a very steep learning curve for a lot of users, and it is pretty rudimentary compared to the others. So when you come in here, it is still a little bit of a drag and drop. So if you clicked up here, you have all of your blocks and you can pull them over and place them places. It's a little slow on the back end. However, since it is built into WordPress, it is faster on the front end. So when you're loading the page, it can help your site run a little faster since WordPress is optimized to run with it. However, the things that I don't like about Gutenberg is that you still need a little bit of coding knowledge to be able to really achieve the stunning results that they show you. Especially if you want to have different fonts or you want to get really granular with the sizes and things like that. They did a good job of having a built-in simple one. They are always improving. This is far better than when they first released it, but it's still not a smooth experience. Figuring out how to drag and drop things took me a little while. I do like that you can bookmark things to use later, but the styling and the changing from one form to another is not very seamless. And you kind of really have to know where you're going and plan it out. They also don't have a ton of layouts built in. A lot of the other page builders that we'll use do have layouts that at least give you a starting point so you can see how they do things. So that is kind of the basics of Gutenberg. The other thing is this is not really a live preview. So if you were to look at this on the front end, which this is a demo of Gutenberg, so the preview button's not working, you would need to come up here to preview and click here and check the different, it would give you different device sizes that you could check it on, but then you have to load the page every time to do that. So not my favorite of the page builders, but it is usable. Especially if you do have a little bit of coding knowledge and you do want to keep the site moving quickly, this could be a good option for you. You're just not going to be able to achieve quite the same results as some of the other ones do. So that is Gutenberg. The second one I want to go over is Divi. So Divi is my favorite out of the bunch. It's the one I prefer to use. Fun fact, when I first used Divi 7 years ago, when I was getting into WordPress sites, it was not my favorite, but it has come a long way. I love that you can actually switch between the back-end view, which will run faster on the back end for you to be able to do things, and the front-end view so that you can edit live. I love that it is a live edit. Some things will appear a little differently on the front end at times. Like we have a site right now where when you go into this view, the header breaks, but it's fine on the front end. So there are little quirks like that, but once you get used to them, it's fine. I like that you can switch between views right there on the fly. And then I also like that at the different levels, it's easy to add different things right there. Some of the cons of Divi are you, once again, do need to kind of know what you're looking for. These aren't very informative about what you're getting. So it is a little bit of trial and error while you're learning. And then also sometimes on the front end, it can be a little slow to get Divi going. But you can create really beautiful layouts. And then Divi also has a large variety of layouts that you can import and use on your own site to give you a starting point. So it makes things very fast. We can use Divi and get I rebuilt a 40-page website in under a week because Divi, the tools in Divi really allowed us to do that. Downside of Divi is it is a little expensive, but it is totally worth it. I can see why. Out of these, only 2 of them have a great free version. That would be Gutenberg, because it comes with WordPress, it's open source. And the last one that we will look at, which is Elementor, has a free version, and we'll get to that. But yeah, Divi is very simple to use. It is a little slow on the front end at times. We do have to make sure that we are using properly sized images. It does need a little help with the optimization, but the layouts are great. It's easy to do like animations on different sections, have them load nicely, and the live preview is pretty close to what you would see on the front end. So that is Divi. Yeah, if you are a graphic designer, this one will probably also be your favorite because it is very easy to make all of the changes to your text. It's very granular. And then what I love is you can actually come in here and you can copy the styles from one module to another, or you can extend the text styles through an entire row, section, column, whatever you want to do. I find Divi very easy to use, probably one of the easiest one to use on here. So if you are not tech savvy and you want to be able to build something, Divi is the one that I would go with. The third one that we use with any regularity is Visual Composer. Visual Composer, it used to be my go-to. Now I find them a little slow and clunky, especially as they are pushing to try to be more like Divi and get more things on the front end. I prefer using Visual Composer on the back end, but like the others, you have your list of blocks here. What I do like is their blocks are very descriptive. So they've got like a little preview of what you will get. They are building out a template library, which is great. It's not as robust as Divi's, but it is there. It's pretty simple to use. It's not as flexible as Divi is to use. You do need, if you want to do some more advanced styling and things, you would need a little bit of coding knowledge, but they are trying to compete directly with Divi, so they are kind of moving in that direction, which I love. It is still drag and drop. So you just grab your thing, put it over here, and then once you're in here, you have a lot of the settings. Like I said, it's not as granular as Divi, but it is pretty good. It is more granular than Gutenberg is. Let's see, can I get in here? It is a little more awkward to like get where you want to go. So you can see in here though that we have like more not as robust control over the different like font blocks and things, but it still looks nice. The live preview on this one is pretty good, and like I said, they are coming a long way. This has evolved a lot since when we first used it too. Not a bad option. It does come packaged with a lot of themes if you're going through like Theme Forest or something, so just be aware of that this is one that you are very likely to run into if you are purchasing a theme. And that can be really handy because the theme will take care of a lot of the higher end coding, and then this will make it easy to make the pages on the back end within that theme. So still a great option. Have no problem using it. It's a little steeper of a learning curve than Divi, but it is still very flexible, still pretty easy to use, definitely easier to use than Gutenberg, and gives you good results in a pretty quick amount of time. It is just as slow as Divi on the front end when you are loading pages, so you would still need to optimize your site, at least a little bit. And on the back end, like I said, it can be a little clunky when you're in the live view, but if you are in the block view, it's not so bad. And yeah, once you get a hang of it, it's pretty easy to use. The last one I'm going to go over is Elementor. I neither love nor hate Elementor. It's not what I choose if I am choosing the page builder, but I have no problem working with it. There are ones that I will not work with, and that is a whole other video. Elementor, like the others, you have these blocks over here, or they call them elements, that you can drag and drop. So we drag over a column and then you can add things to it. So much like Gutenberg, I don't find the live preview that you're working with to be spot on with Elementor. They don't do a great job of that. When you go to the front end, it is does look significantly different to me. And you just click that preview changes button. You can see how everything comes over, and some things aren't as low as they would be. You have the fact that all of the padding from these things push stuff down. So you do have to keep that in mind. But all said and done, not that hard to use. The one thing that I don't like, and it took me a while to figure this out, is so I'm in the column here, and how do I get back to the block list? And it took me a while to figure out that that's what these dots were for, because I was looking for something down here, like breadcrumb wise. To me, these are like more global settings. Much like Divi though, they do have very granular style changes. You can do the color, you can change the font, you can change the size. So that is something that I do really like about Elementor. And the one thing Elementor has that the others don't is their, I believe it's the dividers. They have so many dividers. Divi has a pretty good library, but not as robust as Elementor. That is where Elementor really shines, is that and their icons. Now Divi's, like I said, come a long way. They're still not quite there for, you know, being able to have the same library of these things, but they are working on it. And I love that Font Awesome is built in right here. Divi's getting there with Font Awesome, but they don't have the full library yet. And so that's, you know, it's Elementor. When you're ready to go, you would hit publish. If you want to preview, you can click there. You can also switch into responsive mode and switch between types, which really Divi and Elementor are the ones that do this best. And I love that because it makes it easy to make those changes. So like I said, that's just a quick overview of the different page builders, so you can get a feel for what they're like if you're picking one out for your site, or if you want to have a conversation about what would be best with your site. Absolutely drop me an email, aj@bitesizedigital.com, and we can talk about it. And if you have any questions about any of them, please feel free to ask. I just wanted to kind of give a quick dive. Overall, if I had to put these in order of my favorites at this point in time, it would be Divi, and then Elementor, and then Visual Composer, and then Gutenberg. Now there are a lot of other popular page builders out there, like Beaver and other ones. Beaver is just the only one I can think of off the top of my head. Some of them are great. Some of them I will never work with again. But yeah, sometimes it just takes playing with a few to find what is right for you. So yeah, I hope this was helpful. I hope this gives you an idea of what you're looking for in a page builder. And if you have any questions at all, like I said, please feel free to email me at aj@bitesizedigital.com, and I will be happy to answer your questions. Thank you and have a great day.